that people that either miss class or need to watch it later can do that. I think that I'm doing that. Where's the little cloud thing? Oh, yep, I am. Okay, that happens every time. That's at the beginning of every one of my recordings. I think I'm recording this, but I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna start a new document by going to Create New. And then for this stage right now, I think it's completely appropriate to just go with current screen size. That won't always be true, but for right now, that's fine. You can resize and see your whole canvas by zooming it in and pinching it with your fingers. I am giving you Fresco tips along the way here. Over on this side, please notice where I'm running my cursor. That's your layers palette, okay? This is going to be an important area for us to pay attention to today. There's a white canvas on the bottom, and then anything that looks like a checkerboard, that means transparent, see-through, nothing there. All right, we want to draw on those sheets that we brought in today, okay? This is our whole point today, is to take our drawing practice into our digital realm, because at least half of the people signed up for Fine Arts expressed an interest in also drawing on their iPad, which I fully support. So now we're going to come back over here to our tool area, and we're going to click on inserting a picture icon, and we're going to choose photos, because we just downloaded those to our photos. Go ahead, question?
My notability isn't loading now.
Mary Carol, you are being ganged up on. See you later, Mary Carol. No, just kidding. You should sit back with your coffee and watch, okay? I'm really sorry.
Okay.
I already submitted the ticket for you, though, so hopefully someone's going to help you. I think it's the pits. But just watch, okay? And draw on your paper if you'd like. All right, I'm going to pick the first one, which is this one. There are lots of kinds of lines. This should remind you a lot of what we started with, where we were just talking about the characteristics and qualities of lines. The first screen you get in Fresco, just like the first screen you get for Photoshop for iPad, is this one. It's called the Transform menu. Do you see it right up there? Okay, for the Transform menu, you can stretch it, which I think I'm going to, just to make it fit like the whole canvas. That seems like a good deal for me. If you wanted, although it makes no sense right here, up in the upper right-hand corner, you could mirror it up and down or side to side, but like I said, that doesn't make any sense here. Then I'm going to click done, and there it is. Now look over here on the layers palette, which I referred to already. We now have a picture image right there on that layer. Sweet. Okay, so thick, thin, wavy, jagged are just a few. Fill the squares with as many kinds of lines as you can think of. Now here's the deal. I do not care one bit what type of brush you use, what color brush you use, what size brush you use. I do want you to use a pixel brush, maybe at least once, but other than that, you can even use the vector brushes or oil brushes. So one of the things I want you to remember about Fresco is that there are bazillions of brushes. You can save them to your to your favorites, okay? And then the other thing I want you to remember is that you can pinch to move in, you can rotate, okay? So start drawing some lines, and maybe every time that you switch to a different square, change the color or the brush. Okay, but before I do too much, I want to show you what happened, and I want you to notice what happened. So as soon as I started painting, look what happened to my layers palette. A fourth layer just spawned out of nowhere, which is pretty awesome, because Photoshop instinctively knows, makes my heart happy, that you should not paint on a photo layer. It added what's called a pixel layer, because I picked up a pixel paintbrush. It added a clear pixel layer for me to paint on. Thank you, Photoshop for iPad. Really nice. So every time that you go to paint on a new layer that you've added, an image layer, it's going to add a blank pixel layer there for you to paint on. That is so awesome. So I'm going to zoom in. Now when I go back to my brushes, I might pick a different brush. And did you see what happened to me with the color? This is so annoying. This is like just a little habit that I realize that I fall for. I'm trying to get better at it. I go around the outside ring and I'm like, oh, that's such a beautiful color. And like I pick that color and then I think it's gonna just apply it, and that's not quite how it works. Then you have to touch inside the square. That's what applies the color, which in my opinion is a little weird, but I mean, they didn't ask me. This is where you change the size, you may or may not recall. This is where you would change the flow, which is how the strength, I guess you'd say. That's not really a good brush for lines, but that's all right. Okay, so this is how we're gonna start painting, I should say, and drawing different kinds of lines. So let's just play with that for 1 second. There's all kinds of things that we can adjust about, ooh, that's neat. About, oh, there's the undo up in the corner. Okay, so there's my first one. But now I'm ready to insert the second page. So I'm gonna go back to my picture insert tab, photos, recents, and I'm gonna go to the second one, which is called Lines Can Show Feelings. This should remind you of yesterday when we were looking at lines that could show a behavior or a different kind of quality like that. Imagine what kind of lines best express your feelings right now. Ooh, all right, well, let's get this positioned first. So it gives us that same transformation menu. So I'm stretching this to fit my entire screen again, saying, okay, hold on 1 second and let me finish this part, and then you can help me, you can describe to me what's happening. So I stretch this across. Now look at my layers palette now, guys. So I have 5 layers. First of all, I have the 2 that I started with, then I added a picture layer. Then when I started painting, it inserted a pixel layer, and then I just added a new pixel layer. So best guess what's gonna happen when I start painting right now. What do you think is gonna happen? I mean, we could just find out. Ready? I'm gonna take my paintbrush and start painting. Oh, wait, let me change the color and make the brush really big so you can see. Oops, I thought I made it bigger. Okay, so here I am. My finger is moving. Look at where my paint went. It did not go on my new layer. Here, I'll even try it again. I highlighted, that's my active layer, and now I'm painting. It went underneath on that pixel layer, but I don't like that. Why would I want that? What can I do? Anybody have an idea? What can I do? Got an idea? Say it again. Ooh, merging the layer. Huh, well, let's see. If I merge those 2 layers by essentially smushing them together, then they truly will be stuck together. And what if I don't want my lines stuck on that paper? That's one of the biggest benefits of Photoshop, for real, is that if you were drawing on paper, your marker, pencil, Sharpie, paint is forever and ever literally stuck on this paper, right? So then if you used blue paint and all of a sudden in the rest of your life you hate blue paint, you can never change it. But in Photoshop, if you used blue paint, you could change it 75,000 times and it would never matter. So we don't want to merge it. We want to avoid merging at all costs forever and ever. Okay? So thank you for that suggestion, but I reject it. No. What other ideas do we have? What do you mean, do what at the bottom?
Like, because if you put on the top one, it goes to the bottom one. So I think if you put on the bottom one, it
Mm.
But then I was,
Yeah, like if I was clicking on this one and then I started painting, it just keeps popping me back up. Is that what you were trying to get me to do?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Photoshop's doing what I said that it was doing before, where it's not allowing me to paint directly on. So then first Eddie said, well, let's just merge those layers together. And I was like, okay, that is an actual idea that would work, except that I don't want to merge them because then it takes away my choices and options. And then Kaden was suggesting, well, start on that lower one, but then it still pushes me up to this layer and nothing shows. So what other ideas do we have so that I could make my beautiful red splotch show? Anybody else have an idea? Yes, you are right. Let's click on the very top layer. That's our new photo layer. Instead of letting Photoshop just automatically generate that layer, you can force the issue. I don't really know why it generated a layer first for this one, but it doesn't for that one. I'm just going to be honest. That's a setting that I don't understand. But we can come over here where Kaden was getting a very strong feeling right here. And look at this plus. If you do a long press on that, you can see that it's saying, hey, plus, you want to add a pixel layer or a vector layer? Sure, don't mind if I do. So there is a pixel layer right there for my pixel brush, and I can add it. And it is above the picture layer. So that gives me a clue right now. What if I come down to this layer that I drew all along, and I'm holding it? Do you see how it pops out like it's rising above? Like it's rising above. I let go too early. If I rise above and let it go, come on, you little stinker. You can change the layer order and make layers appear above each other. So we just learned a whole bunch of things about layers. Layers can move. Layers can block each other out. Layers can be added. That was so much we just learned about layers. Okay, so layers can move, layers can block each other, and layers can be added. Also, layers can be turned on and off. So this one ended up to be a giant mess, right? Look over here again on the side, and there's an eyeball. Literally just means not visible. I'll show it again. Visible, not visible. Doesn't mean delete, doesn't mean gone forever. It's like out of sight, out of mind. You ever heard that one? Out of sight, out of mind. Okay, so let's bring in another picture, and then I'm going to let you draw for a while. So here's this one. This is confusing right now because it's under the other one. I'm going to try not to get distracted by that. Say done. Then I might either turn off this layer or move this layer to the top. Whichever layer has the blue outline around it is the active layer. Then I would need to add a new layer to be able to draw right on that layer. I should stop using the same brush so that you can see the difference. I keep using the same brush. Okay, so please kind of proceed through these sheets. Dakota, I would love to hear what you're stuck on right now.
I don't even know like what happened. Like I don't even know how to explain it.
If we can't get through with description, you can share your screen and I can help that way.
Like kind of like when I go to like press on it, like the screen is all white, like I can't draw on anything.
Okay, so is that the sound of you slapping your iPad? Because you probably
No,
should do that.
I'm tapping it, but it won't work.
Okay, are you in Fresco?
Yeah.
I would quit Fresco, like close Fresco all the way and then come in again. Let's do that for our first thing.
Okay.
Okay, so Edward and Seth and Zachary, how are you guys doing? Okay, so right now, everybody, you three fellas right there, should be drawing on these 5 sheets. You're going to attach a screenshot of these today for your daily log. Screenshot of your workspace and these sheets and stuff. And this is a good time, obviously, to be asking me questions about Fresco or drawing or any of this. And Dakota, I'm definitely just here still waiting to help you with whatever it is you need help
The
with.
same thing happened. Like it shows where like I drew my first line, like the picture we transferred to like the paper and stuff, but it doesn't show like the picture we transferred. It just shows where I drew my line. And like when I
Okay,
go
so I'm stopping my screen share, and now I'd like you to do that. Do you remember how to do it?
no.
Okay, go up by where your video camera is on in your Zoom window, and click on share content,
Okay.
and then choose Zoom.
Can you see it?
Yep.
See like, and I go to press on that and it won't pop up.
Okay, so you are, I gotta get closer. So you're trying to paint on, okay, explain to me what you're trying to do so I don't have to guess.
So you see how like, you know how we were supposed to draw our lines?
Yeah.
Like that picture won't pop up. Like
Okay,
that.
can you click on the layer above that?
I did, nothing happened.
What, okay, I just wanted you to click on that layer. Now that layer right there, could you go and click on the eyeball on the right and hide that layer from being visible for a minute? Did you see what that did?
Yeah.
I mean, really though? Hey, is that the Price is Right? I love the Price is Right. So do you see what that did when you turn that layer off and on? It made the layer with the words on it visible.
That's dumb.
So keep that layer turned off, and now go to the right and click on the box with the plus in it. Yep, oh, perfect. Do you see the difference between that layer you just added? This is good news for everybody. And the layer right below it that has the eyeball crossed out on it? That layer is not transparent. There's something on it that's blocking the layer below it.
Okay.
And the layer above it, the active layer, is transparent. So use your brush now and try painting on it. Although I do want to tell you something else. Do you see what color you have in your paintbrush right now?
No, this.
What color do you have in your paintbrush right now?
I had white, but I didn't even change it to white. It was already like that.
Okay, but when you have white and you're painting on a white background, how visible do you think that paintbrush is going to be? That's a classic one right there. Were you trying to, Dakota, were you trying to test me? And
no.
me? Let's see if she can figure this one out. White paintbrush in a snowstorm. I'm going to have to watch you. I can see. Okay, so did all of that make a little more sense?
Yeah.
In fact, I am willing to bet that you made that layer not see-through by painting all over it in white. You're that clever. I think that's what you did.
I didn't even realize it was white.
But do you see how we were able to work through that? I'm really glad that we did. Okay,
Yeah.
we covered a lot with that. Okay, so if we go back to Fresco, I want you to keep painting and drawing on this, any of these. We're going to hand these in today. This one's kind of neat for those of you that like to draw things that look like stuff, because some of you have told me that you, well, actually only a couple of people have been kind of grumbly that there's only lines. You know who you are, Seth. A line is just a path created by a moving point. Imagine where this man's line could go. So like, what could you extend from here that this is going to be? I don't know. That's for you to decide, I guess. What other questions do people have that are popping up about using, oh, I need to start sharing again, I'm sorry. What other questions do people have about either Fresco or these lines, or, you got one? Okay.
Yeah, like, can you make the lines thinner, or is the ones that are right there, is that what? Because there's like soft round opacity.
Yeah.
And like I put it in the box and it's like huge.
Okay, so good question here about the size or diameter of a brush. So here is kind of a big fat brush. I don't know if that, what does the number of your brush say? See near the bottom?
Yeah, it's 175.
Okay, so that's what mine says. This is the default size of the soft round opacity brush. When you click on this just once, you get a slider that allows you to change the size of the brush. If you long press, you could type in the exact pixel size, but like who knows that, right? So try sliding it down. Here's 38. It's a lot different. And then in addition to that setting, Kaden, you can come down to those sliders at the bottom and look at all the stuff that you can do there. So even though this is a soft round brush, you can also change, and look at, I love this setting because you can see this setting menu, because you can see the changes right in the preview. So even though it's a soft round brush, which means the edges are blurry, you could actually modify this brush if you really like it, but you want to change it a little. You can modify it so that it has hard edges. You can change the spacing. Look at, this is what this brush is actually made of. It's a round paintbrush. So you could change the spacing so that it's actually dots. That's so fun. I love that. Okay, you can also change it so that it blends differently than normal. Like with color and stuff, that, or a photo underneath, that might make a difference. Okay, so these are all settings within the brush itself. I really like the dots. That's super fun. And then this one right here is the flow. That's another setting that is going to feel like opacity, how see-through or not see-through something is. So when it's on like 100%, that one doesn't look very dark because of the opacity setting. So let me show you on this one. So if the flow is up to 100, it's going to be a solid line. But if the flow is at like 50%, how come that didn't change at all? Oh, you can see there how it's lighter. Okay, those are good questions. And then all of the brushes have those settings. All of them. Good questions. Okay, so what you need to do to finish this up, and let me remind you, actually I don't even know if I talked to you about this. So when you're ready to upload your screenshot or save a picture of any kind, like this is how I would go about this for class today, because you need to upload this to your DAL today or attach it. So to me, the best and most effective way to do that would be to figure out which part you want to show. Like maybe you think this is your best part, or maybe like the red lines you added, whatever you want to show me. You can take a screenshot very simply by, doing a screen capture, but maybe instead you want to export it to your camera roll very cleanly. Whatever you want to do, remember this eyeball over here on the side is what's going to turn off or on the visibility of a layer. So maybe you are just experimenting with me and you don't want to show that. So whatever layer you click on is going to be the active layer. So then you can turn things off or on. So you could turn off some layers, turn on some layers, whatever you want. Then you can either take a screenshot, you know, capture, or you could use the export button, which is really quite a good habit to get into. So publish and export is one, but actually quick export is a good idea. Quick export allows you to literally look at, it's right there, save image. Okay, then you can exit to the home screen of Fresco. There it is. Then when you come to Schoology for today and you pop open today, there's your daily artist log. Remember, you're going to want to export this and open it out into Safari. Many of my students have told me that they prefer to attach their picture first in case it fails. Okay, so you can go ahead and attach your picture first. So select files from your device, photo library. Look, it's right there. Yay, attach. And there's my image from today. One of the options was email or one of yours? What did I do something wrong? Oh, I may have, yeah, that's probably part of yesterday when I had huge mistakes with my form and I had to reset it up. You can type it in, it's okay. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. School email, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, so everybody right now should be moving into the daily artist log and answering the questions that are attached to that form today. Any questions for me right now? What is that giant circle? Weird. Some of you were very quiet. I hope that means that everything went well.
Can we leave when we're done filling it out?
When you are done finishing your daily artist log, you betcha, Mary Carol. Please don't leave until
That
you.
was me, but okay.
Oh, it looks like her mic is open. I'm sorry. Yes, both of you ladies can leave when you're done. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.